Hi, this is your Solent journalism update at 3:30 with me, Robert Anderson. Here are your headlines. Today we're going to be talking about how two people have been convicted over a near-fatal stabbing in a Southampton park. We've got Sean Carey, who's reported on the red meat tax that's coming through, and I've got Tape at Ellis in the studio with me, and we're going to be talking all about all the entertainment news and hedgehogs. But first, a major incident was declared in hospitals across Hampshire yesterday after a power cut left wards and patients in Southampton General in the dark. Hampshire Fire and Rescue were called to extinguish a small fire in the north block that was caused by an electrical fault, resulting in the blackout. Non-emergency patients were sent home while more serious cases were diverted to hospitals across Hampshire. Despite the backup generators failing, the issue was finally fixed at 5 p.m. last night. Two men have been found guilty over a near-fatal stabbing in a Southampton park. The jury has found Che Yefman Spain and Callum Edwards guilty of the attack during a 2.5-week trial at Southampton Crown Court. The pair had stabbed their victim in the throat during a knife attack in Watts Park in March of last year. Michel Barnier, the European Union's chief Brexit negotiator, has said that Theresa May's deal is the only one possible. In a speech to the EU Parliament, Barnier explains that there will be no renegotiation with Great Britain. This comes as Security Minister for the UK, Ben Wallace, has stated that a no deal would have a real impact on protecting the public. Oxford Uni have conducted a study claiming that a meat tax could stop thousands of deaths a year. Sean Carey has more.
Other than vegans and vegetarians, who doesn't love a good fry-up or a barbecue? But the price of your red meat could become considerably more expensive. Scientists at the University of Oxford say that the government should consider a meat tax, which would raise the prices of red meats like beef, lamb and pork, in a bid to reduce consumption. However, butchers are not happy with the idea. Gary Wright of Swanmore Butchers in Southampton disagrees with the proposal and says that a meat tax could be the death of the more traditional butcher shop.
Without a doubt, it affects your business. I personally think a lot of butchers aren't going to agree to it. I used to have a shop in Bitton Park Triangle 4 years ago, and I had it for 25 years. When I went there was 42 butchers. When I left, there was 6. And I was told by the Environment Health the other day from Winchester, there's only 8 traditional butcher shops under their district.
The move would increase the price of processed meat, such as sausages and bacon, by around 80%, but in doing so, it could save the NHS around £700 million a year. Mark Green, a dietitian in Southampton, says that a meat tax could act as a deterrent, but it could also punish those that eat meat in moderation.
It depends on which type you tend to steer towards. I mean, if you're going for more of the non-processed red meat and you're having them in moderation, then in theory you're kind of punishing the people that enjoy it in moderation. Whereas, yeah, I mean, when you tax it can act as a deterrent, but as with the sugar tax, it kind of starts to take the freedom of choice out of it slightly, doesn't it?
The government have introduced a tax like this before. Earlier this year, a sugar tax was placed on fizzy drinks, but it remains unclear if consumers have actually stopped buying them. Although a meat tax could be beneficial to people's health and to the NHS, it would most certainly affect your local high street butcher and the money in your pocket. This is Sean Carey for Solent Journalism.
More than 800 people have come together to demand the return of a popular Southampton Blue Star bus route. Residents are calling for the return of the route as they have only had one hourly service from Thornhill, resulting in locals feeling disconnected with the city. Civil service unions have told ministers to reform their complaint system after allegations of bullying in the workplace within Whitehall. I've been looking into the situation to find out more. Have you ever been bullied? Well, 1 in 5 of all young people have witnessed bullying within the past 12 months, but it's the dreadful case of adult bullies that have been in the news recently. Earlier this week, civil service unions have told ministers to reform their complaint system, following a string of clashes and alleged abuses in Whitehall. Aggressive bullying in the workplace is an ongoing issue which many seem to want to brush aside. I spoke to a young working individual that wishes to remain anonymous, who has been bullied in almost every workplace she's been in.
I remember they didn't want to meet me when I first started, dismissive towards me, patronising when talking to me. I remember working in the capacity of a manager and trying just to do my job, and this person just never listened, was almost unmanageable. They used to send emails about me to the office gossip, used to palm off work they thought that I'd fail at, and then when I'd complete it, they'd say, oh, well, must have been simple. Used to tell people I'm just junior, when that was really not the case. They would try and convince my manager that I wasn't needed. They'd find every excuse to complain about me. When asked who was the best person to deal with certain things within the department, they would always find an excuse not to allow that work to be passed to me. The dirty looks, the relentless emails towards me, which was negative, constant off-tone with me. It was too much.
This month, The Guardian released statistics showing that the problem also extends to universities and academic spaces. Senior professors were among 300 people alleged to have bullied students and colleagues. I spoke to a local Southampton activist, Don John, who believes the current procedures against bullying just don't work.
There are many sort of people in the communities who are uncomfortable about consistently complaining and ultimately nothing being done. So even the people who are being victimised are less comfortable about coming forward. It's much like sexual harassment, you know. People kind of feel, well, you know, I've been knocking my head against a brick wall. My definition of what is sexual harassment or racial harassment is not the same as yours. And then perhaps they think we're overreacting, much the same way they think women are overreacting when it comes to issues of sexist behaviour. So, you know, I think there's a lot to be done, but we're in an age now in which everything's moved politically and socially to the right. So in a sense, I mean, I think the people who have been, you know, perpetrated by racist or sexist really don't have a means by which they can even start to put their hands up and say, well, this has happened to me. There have been token gestures by government and other people, but the reality, of course, it doesn't really happen.
It seems bullying doesn't just leave itself on the playground, and with mental health becoming such a prominent issue in the United Kingdom, those suffering from abuse in the workplace certainly aren't going to lie down and take it any longer. Robert Anderson, Solent News. And finally, for the last segment of the Bulletin, I've got Tate Ap Ellis in the studio with me, and we're going to be talking everything entertainment. But first, you said you wanted to talk to me something about hedgehogs, Tate, is that correct?
That is correct.
Right, so give me the lowdown, what's been happening?
So basically, what the Echo are calling are the sadistic thugs that have tied up a 3-year-old hedgehog with cable ties around its neck and legs and left it there to chill.
Chill?
For about a day before it got taken to Winchester vet surgery place, and they've basically found out that this was done deliberately. There's no way this could have been done on accident. So they're now looking for these thugs that are
what horrible
going
people!
around.
What horrible people!
Yeah, but in lighter news,
let's get on to some lighter news.
We have the new season of Luther. There's been a trailer supposedly dropped with the new season coming out in the next year.
I have indeed watched it. It does look fantastic.
We have a revelation in the jungle last night by ex-Southampton manager Harry Redknapp, who revealed his nan ran a secret illegal gambling network.
Really?
Reliably reported by the Mirror there.
Oh, I see.
And finally, as tomorrow is Friday, I don't know if many people know, it's new music dropping tomorrow.
What's dropping?
The new album by Earl Sweatshirt, Some Rap Songs, is dropping tomorrow. So
is it actually called Some Rap Songs?
It's called Some Rap Songs. It's been 3 years since it's last released, but I've been waiting those 3 years quite intensely.
Have you? I bet you've been on the edge of your seat waiting for that news to come through.
I am right now.
Cool. Is that everything then, Tate?
That is everything.
All right, thanks so much.
Thank you.
That's all from us for now. You can find all our stories and more at solentjournalism.co.uk. We'll be back at 3:30 with our final update of the day.